God-centered versus self-centered, first Sunday of Lent, Year A. The reading from Genesis describes the temptations Adam and Eve faced before they sinned. The temptation centered around a tree called the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Even though God commanded Adam and Eve not to eat the fruit of the tree, Eve, along with Adam, who remained silent at Eve's side, was tempted to do so in three ways. The fruit of the tree seemed good for food, it was a delight to the eyes, and Eve thought eating the forbidden fruit would make the eater wise. She then ate the fruit, gave it to Adam, who, without protest, without protecting Eve from danger, also ate the forbidden fruit. As Brand Petrie notes, this threefold temptation is referred to by John in his first letter. John warns us not to excessively love the world or the things in the world, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Lust of the flesh corresponds to the temptation of the forbidding fruit looking good for food. Lust of the eyes corresponds to the temptation of the fruit as a delight to the eyes. And pride of life corresponds to the temptation of eating the forbidden fruit to become wise. These three temptations encompass all temptations: the excessive desire for pleasure, gluttony, the excessive desire for owning all things the eye sees, greed, and the excessive desire to be recognized, to be honored as wise, pride. So gluttony, greed, pride. These three temptations lead one to try to center all of reality around oneself, where one becomes, in a certain sense, a sun that all others orbit around. The body and its senses are put at the total service of the individual self, as an individual strives to experience pleasure with no care of anyone else, with no concern if this experience of pleasure will hurt someone else in the process. All that the eye can see is also understood as centered around the individual, as the individual tries to own all visible created objects and put all material created reality at the service of self. Finally, the immaterial world of intellects also is understood as centered around the individual, as the individual tries to cause all intellects, all minds to honor him or herself. In a nutshell, these three temptations lead one to center the body, the visible universe, and the immaterial dimension of intellectual powers all around oneself and not at the service of God and neighbor. In contrast, we believe, with respect to our own body, as a prominent theologian phrased it, my matter or my body is not a part of the universe that I own completely like an object. It is the totality of the universe partially owned by myself. We believe this for two reasons. First, and most importantly, our bodies are not completely our own. Our bodies are given to us as gifts by God, in accordance with God who is relational, since God is triune, a trinity of persons perfectly united as one. This means that when we want to experience bodily pleasure, we are to discern if this pleasurable experience we want is in accordance with true love of neighbor, in accordance with being good stewards of the world, or if it is actually selfish love, where we are only using our neighbor or other created reality as an object to be discarded once the pleasure passes. Second, many of our body's cells, but not all, especially those in our brain, are replaced by new cells. Some cells of our lungs are replaced every 2 or 3 weeks, while other lung cells are replaced every year. This takes place as we literally breathe in and out the air of the universe and interact with our environment. On the physical level, we do not even completely own our own bodies. Rather, our bodies are part of a dynamic universe that is shared and participated in. On the physical level, it is impossible to completely own even the objects we claim as our own, including our bodies, since we're caught up in many overlapping orbits, whether we like it or not. Every breath I take, I'm bringing the universe within me, and every breath I exhale, I let go part of my bodily self, and what I exhale circulates around the world that others breathe in and breathe out. Today, may we more firmly believe and realize that our existence is a shared, participated existence that demands I act relationally and not selfishly with all that is around me, above all with God who surrounds me, upholds me in existence, and who wants to put me more deeply into relationships with others, loving, truthful relationships. God bless.